guys, Dave Schmidt's ResistanceBandTraining.com. Hey, I thought I'd take you through my garage gym this morning, but most importantly, just kind of point out a few things that are important when you go ahead and create your own garage gym. You know, I know a lot of people give me a hard time and they say, you know what, Batman, it's really not a garage, it's not really a gym. Well, I like to think any place where I'm exercising, and any place where I'm starting to get better, and any place I can go ahead and perform and train my body to go ahead and get better is called a gym to me. So therefore, that's what I'm going to refer to it as. You call it what you want. I call it my place to go and get a great workout in and get anything done that I need to get done. So let me take you through a few key things that you want to make sure you have in your garage gym. Obviously, first of all, we're going to talk about the floor a little bit. You know, what we do is I go ahead and lay down a piece of carpeting. Yeah, I just go purchase an old piece of carpeting, lay it down onto the floor. I typically try to get it as big as possible so that I can have as much surface area as possible so I can do band running, I can do any kind of drills that I want, some agility drills, some speed drills, some stuff like that. So make sure you get it big enough for yourself. Now if you got a smaller garage, smaller space, obviously you got to fit that accordingly. The other thing in regards to surfaces is I like to go ahead and get some rubber mats. You'll see some rubber mats on the floor here. I like to use that for a little bit of shock absorbing. Yeah. Also, it also protects the carpet if I am doing some things like dead weight training where I'm going to drop a weight or something like that. And yes, I'll talk to you about dead weight in a little bit, but I think it's important that you have that in there. So I think some rubber mats and some carpeting, and you're good to go from a surface standpoint. Next thing I want to make sure you have is, hey, make sure you got a bar. Yeah, we just came out with the bar a few months ago. I want to make sure that you're aware of that. I think the bar works out well. It's set up perfect. As you can see, I've got it hooked right to the studs. Man, when you order it, because we put the vertical attachments, or we put the screw sites very easy to access, all you really have to do is sink in a couple of countersink holes to make sure you got the drill holes set, pop them in there, pop your screws in, put it up against the stud, and you're good to go. Make sure you set it so that it covers as much surface area from mid-shin, or basically what I say from knee to shoulder. We want to cover that area. The bar is long enough that it actually can go from about mid-shin to just above shoulder. So make sure you cover it and set it up according to your specifications of your height. But the bar is definitely something you want to get into your garage gym. From there, a couple of other things that I like to have is I like to have just simple wood dowel. PVC works out great as well. Again, it's going to allow us to do some offset training. You're going to learn more about that as we go along this summer. Make sure you got yourself a dowel. I like about a 5-foot dowel is about all you need. And again, if you're going to go PVC pipe, go about 1.25 inches, maybe 1.5 inches thickness when you do it. The other thing I want you to get is I want you to get a towel. You know, and it's just a simple towel. I got a little duct tape on it, but here's why I like a towel. Bands are going to hook to the towel very easily. It's going to keep them soft. I'm going to be able to go ahead and do a lot of hand-based drills with bands because I've got the towel. It also becomes actually a little bit of a waist belt for me if I need it, depending on how long your towel is. I like to keep it short, make it more of a grip. It really works out well with bands. I recommend you get yourself a towel. Make sure you got a foam roll. I think foam roll is huge, guys, and make sure that in your garage gym and all that type of stuff, you always got your foam rolls. I like push-up handles. I also go ahead and make sure you got yourself a set of training handles. It's going to be important that you have training handles when it comes to bands because you know what? It just makes it much more efficient, and also you're going to be able to work a lot more on shoulder stabilization when you got something that you can grip a hold of. So make sure you got yourself a pair of training handles. Outside of that, obviously we're talking bands, all right? And I've got my entire assortment of bands here because you know what? I'm going to use different variations. The beauty of having multiple variations of bands, you're always going to change your intensity. You're always going to change your resistance, all right? So hey, having different size bands allows you a huge spectrum of resistance to be able to use. If you're asking me what size or what shape or what packages and those types of things to get, you know, my recommendation is to look at our multi-band packages because they give you a pair of each, and therefore you can go ahead and have all the resistance levels you need. All right, depending on your strength level, dictate which size you want in regards to that multi-band package. A couple other things I've got is I've got a medicine ball. Okay, I'll bring in a medicine ball, mostly because, again, it's going to provide me a dead weight contrast. So medicine ball is going to be important. I also can use some things to do some push-ups off and stuff like that. But I think it's important to get some kind of medicine ball. Make sure it's a size that you work. I like anywhere from an 8 to 10 pound medicine ball because it allows me to do most things I want. The other thing I have is I do have my suspension strap system here. So I'm going to pull that out. and I've got it hooked up real easy. Just popped it right on up, hooked an eye bolt into my beam up top, dropped it down. I think suspension straps are huge, and I think it's a great way to go ahead, once again, to go ahead and put contrast weight or contrast training with band training. Body weight is the easiest way to do it. So make sure that you go ahead, bring in some suspension straps so you can bring in some body weight training. Outside of that, dead weight, as far as what you want for dead weight, it's your call. If you want to go ahead and get some dumbbells, some kettlebells, some barbells, I've got a squat rack here. Again, I use a squat rack because I like it. Mostly, it's for my son so that he can train, my daughter can train. I want them to go ahead and develop some dead weight training, so as a result of that, we bring a squat rack in during the summer so they can train. All right. Outside of that, the only other dead weight I'm going to have is probably some kettlebells or some dumbbells. You choose. But the key is this. I want you to have some level of dead weight so you can contrast train. I think that's huge. I think it's important that your body start feeling both dead weight and elastic resistance. And we've talked a great deal about that. Make sure your garage gym has that. Here's the last thing I want to share with you. This garage gym is portable. Yeah, it can go anywhere we want. So I can go outdoors. All I've got to do is go ahead and grab my bands. And if you notice, I've got my training bag here. I just put my bands in my training bag and I'm off to the park. So again, my garage gym is a very portable gym that allows me to go anywhere I want. That's the key. That's the key. And you know what? If you talk about, well, what am I going to take for contrast training if I leave? Right here, guys, your body. Your body's a perfect contrast training tool. Make sure you always have it with you. I think you do. All right. Lastly, make sure you also set the gym up with a sound system so you can go ahead and use interval music. I think it's always important that you use music or use some kind of auditory system to crank out your intervals. I don't think counting reps is a great way to go. I think your focus is too much on the reps. Get your focus on the exercise. Get your focus on the intensity. That said, I use Workout Muse iPro. Find yourself an app that you can plug into your iPhone, into your smartphone. Hook it up to your radio, whatever you want to do. But please make sure you're using time-based intervals so there's no cheating on the recovery. That's going to be important as we get along. So there's my garage gym. I hope you enjoyed the little demonstration tour that we put together, but get yours set up right now. Go ahead, get yourself a bar if you need it, get some bands if you need it, get your flooring if you need it, get your rubber mats if you need it, get a dowel, get a towel, get your medicine balls. Hey, make sure you got a little dead weight training, get it all. Because you know what? It's time to train outside, and the garage is a great place to go when you can't get totally under the sun, or you need a little break from the sun, and you got to train a little bit indoors, but you can still get the fresh air coming in. It's an awesome place to train. I'm looking forward to showing you a lot of great workouts in my garage gym this summer.